Hi there, this is Francis from A Plus Tutoring. In this session, I'm going to talk about the basic matrices. So what is matrix? Now, matrix should be written with a square bracket and with a capital letter. So this is matrix A. Now, P times Q is the size of the matrix. P is the number of row and Q is the number of column. The row always come first, don't mix it up. Okay, example 1. Matrix A, 2 by 3, that means there is 2 row and 3 column. Example 2, matrix C is a 3 by 3, so 3 row and 3 column. Now each element in it, let's say the number 9, we call this element, or we call this entry. Now each of them has a position. Number 9 has a position of 1, 3, meaning 1 means the first row, 3 means the third column. So what is row matrix? Row matrix, in this example, we have a matrix A, 1 by 3. 1 means there's only 1 row, so this is called a row matrix. But there's 3 columns. No matter how many columns you have only 1 row. We call this row matrix, or we can call this row vector. So what is column matrix? Column matrix in this example, we can see is matrix A, 3 by 1. We have only 1 column, but we have 3 rows. So no matter how many rows you have only 1 column. We also call this column vector. So what is a square matrix? A square matrix with the number of column equal to the number of row. In example 1, we have matrix A, n by n. So we have nth column and nth row. Example 2, we have a 3 by 3 matrix. It's a square matrix because it's 3 by 3. 3 row with 3 column. So what is a lower triangular matrix? A lower triangular matrix, the first criteria is to be a square matrix. In this example, 4 by 4 lower triangular matrix, we see that the main diagonal, this 2, 4, 7, 8, we call this main diagonal. On top of this main diagonal, it must be all 0. Okay, so we can see that all the green numbers should be all 0. So we call this matrix as lower triangular matrix. So what is a upper triangular matrix? The first criteria, again, it must be a square matrix. In this example of 4 by 4 upper triangular matrix, we see that the main diagonal at the bottom of it has to be all 0. So this matrix, we call this as upper triangular matrix. So what is a diagonal matrix? Again, it must be a square matrix. In this example, 4 by 4 diagonal matrix, except the main diagonal, everything has to be 0. As we can see with the green numbers, all 0. So this is what we call a diagonal matrix. So what is an identity matrix? An identity matrix must be a square matrix. And this matrix is acting like a 1 in numerical value. Any matrix multiplied with the identity matrix will stay the same matrix. Now the example of identity matrix in this case is a 4 by 4. So the main diagonal must be all 1 and the rest must be all 0. So this is what we call an identity matrix. So what is a 0 matrix? A 0 matrix is acting like a 0 in numerical value. any matrix multiplied with the zero matrix will be a zero matrix. Now, it doesn't have to be a square matrix. In this example, it's P by Q. So you have P number of row and Q number of column. Again, another example, a matrix C, 3 by 2, so 3 row, 2 column. As long as all the elements inside the matrix are all 0, this is a zero matrix. So what is an augmented matrix and what is a coefficient matrix? Now, a matrix is basically solving equation. In this example, we have 3 equations and 3 unknown, so 3 variables. Now, the coefficient of each variables, 1, 1, 2, is basically my first row. And 9 is the constant value I write on the side with a bar. Second row, 2, 4, minus 3. So second row is 2, 4, minus 3. And the constant value 1. Last row, 3, 6, minus 5, and 0. Now this is what we call an augmented matrix. Now, a coefficient matrix is basically without all the constant value. So that's the coefficient matrix. For more information, please visit my website, goforaplus.com.